Here's the secret of the universe nobody understands. People say it's okay to fail if you try your best. But the truth is, and this is the truth, if you try your best, you never fail. And this is the misunderstood secret of the universe. I'll give you an example. I have never seen a man who wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning, goes to the gym, and trains for 2 hours, 7 days a week, and eats protein, and doesn't eat garbage, and eats properly, and dedicates himself, ever. I've never seen that man still be fat, ever. But the point is, of course, I'm not saying he's going to be the best ever, but he's not going to fail at being in good shape. It's biologically impossible if he dedicates himself. I've also never seen a man who wakes up every day, pays attention to the internet, looking at all the different opportunities, tries new things, talks to his friends about new ideas, focuses, works hard, doesn't go on TikTok, doesn't get distracted, doesn't drink, dedicate himself, not get rich. Never seen it. It's very easy to get exactly what you want if you try. What you have is people who try 60%. They try one day, then they miss a day. Then they try 3 days, then they miss a day. And then they say, I tried my best, but I still failed. This isn't real. You didn't try your best because you missed a day. I have always tried my best, which is why I have everything I've ever tried to get. I don't have the things I didn't try to get, but I do have the things I did try to get. If I see a man and he's like, oh, I don't want to work, I don't want to try, I just drink. Well, then I don't like you because you're an idiot. You're a winner because you dedicate yourself. All I'm trying to say is that the world, especially the masculine world, is one large, endless competition. And if you want to win a game, you need to at least play it. You can pretend there's no competition, but then you're not going to win. If you wake up and realize that the car you want, other men want, the woman you want, other men want, the house you want, other men want, the job you want, other men want, the followers you want, other men want. When you realize this, you're like, okay, now I know the competition, let me go try and win. If you're going to sit and say, well, I don't believe there's a competition, that's fine, but you're not going to win anything. If someone were to say to me, Andrew, how do I get rich? I'd say, well, then you have to understand that all the money you're trying to make, other people are trying to make. So you need to be faster. You need to be more competitive. You need to be better than they are. You need to try harder. You need to wake up earlier. You need to dedicate yourself. And if they say to me, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to lose, I'm going to say, okay, then you're a loser. Go lose. Here's the next man who wants to win. And then when he wins, people are going to ask him how he did it. And I'm going to say, because he played the game. This is who you're competing against. So the competition is absolutely and utterly fierce. Understanding that you're a man with a small pistol up against a mighty army. If you want to add a little bit of laziness on top, you're fucked. So when I say people are lazy, they go, I'm not lazy, I work hard every day. You work 8 hours a day? You work eight? The fuck? If I'm awake, I'm working. I'll be driving my Bugatti Chiron through Dubai, working. I'm texting at the same time. I don't take a second off. I don't take a minute off. I don't relax. I don't rest. I don't stop. I don't chill. None. Ever. I'm either asleep or at work. That's it. Second I wake up, I check my phone, I begin working. I go to the gym in between sets, I am working. I'm online working the entire day until the second I go to sleep, I am at work. That is all I do. And you are at home competing against me, and you want to watch a movie tonight and then say you're not lazy. You're lazy and you're going to lose forever. That's laziness. Next is stupid. I don't think many people are actually too stupid to be rich. You can be below average IQ and still get very rich. A very small percentage of people are too dumb to be rich. So very small percent are too stupid. It's step by step. Do this, do that, do this, and don't be lazy. It's not that hard, right? So stupid's not the problem. So we have people who are lazy, very few are stupid, but the majority, the main reason most people are broke is because they are arrogant. I will sit here and say all the things I've said. I will do this, take time out of my life for free. Somebody at home will watch and digest it for free. They will agree with the things that are being said, or at least be entertained enough to continue to watch. And they'll sit there and go, nah, I'll do it myself. They're arrogant. They have these egos from fuck knows where because they didn't earn it. And they're just too arrogant to listen to anybody. I became world champion by listening to my coach. I didn't become world champion by walking in and saying, I'll do it myself. That's not how you get anywhere in life. You have to listen. If Mike Tyson were to walk in, or if Elon Musk were to walk in here and talk to me about money, I wouldn't be sitting there going, I can do that. I'd be like, oh, Mr. Elon, richest man in the world. Hello, very nice to meet you. Please Even though I already understand I don't want to launch a car brand or put rockets in space, please, you must know some things I don't know. How do you deal with the currency fluctuations? Does inflation impact how much it costs for you to send a rocket into space? Like, I'd ask him something that's useful, right? But some people are so brutally arrogant that they'll sit here and they'll listen to all the things I said, and they'll agree that I'm intelligent, they'll agree I'm massively successful, but they'll sit there and go, yeah, but you know what? I'll do it myself. I'll do it myself. They're arrogant. Everybody's arrogant. I sit with people who I used to go to school with from Luton who are still broke and tell them how to make money. And you know what they do? They answer back. Yeah, but it's not that simple because, the wife gets the kid, and you know what? And I don't like to do things that way. The way I like to work, the way you like to work is why you're fucking broke. So what the fuck are you talking about? You just sat here and wasted 10 minutes of my time. I told you how to take your business of painting and decorating and make a serious amount of money, and now you're telling me the way you like to work? Then stay broke. What level of arrogance? But this is people. They'll sit with a multi-millionaire and tell you their view. Oh, I think that know when you're out qualified and accept it and learn. So we all do. I can't play piano for shit. The piano teacher walked in here and said, this is what you do. And I said, well, I like to move my hands this way. What kind of dumbass? But this is the arrogance people operate under. So I'd say 20% of people are lazy, 20 to 25%. A large portion of the world are not lazy. They're actually working exceptionally hard, but they're doing the wrong thing. 5% of people are too stupid. So say 25%, 5% is 30%. But 70% of people are brutally arrogant, and this is why they are poor. That's the truth.
I'm telling you to be angry. Anger is a fantastic force. Perfectly fine for you to be pissed off. It's perfectly fine for you to look around at your life, look at the house you live in, look at the car you drive, and get pissed off and go, you know what, I want a hotter bitch, I want a nicer house, and I want a faster car. There's nothing wrong if you take that anger and you direct it in the correct direction. You need to get angry about your situation. You're sitting there right now, you're watching it, and you look around you, and you don't own the home you're in, get pissed off. If there ain't a Ferrari on your drive, get pissed off. If you don't have 10 Playboy Bunny level beauties, get pissed off. And what the fuck? You need to sit there and realize, whoa. I have a few years of consciousness, and even less than that, I have a few short years as a young man, because age will damage you. I mean, if you're a millionaire when you're 60, it's not nearly as good as being a millionaire at my age. I became a millionaire at 28. So you need to realize you got a few short years as a young man, you're wasting them. You need to sit there and go, shit, get angry. Because getting angry, forced, directed anger is an extremely powerful force. I knew I was going to be the big G before I was the big G. There's nothing fake about belief. I knew what I was going to be. When I was broke, I couldn't sleep. And I say that, people laugh. I'm not joking. When I wanted money, like I needed air, I am smart enough to know that money equals freedom. I needed money. And I used to sit there and just literally my hands in my head, and people are like, what's wrong with you? It's like, I need money. I want money today. I'm not gonna live broke, get rich, or die trying. I understand that completely. I couldn't sleep at night when I was broke. I knew I had to find a way out. I was sitting there going, I refuse to live my human years and be some second-class citizen peasant when there's people out here who get to do whatever the fuck they want. I couldn't tolerate it, and I was so uncomfortable that it gave me the motivation I needed to escape. Nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a fuck about you as much as you're going to have to give a fuck about yourself. Nobody cares about you as much as they need to care to fix your life. Even your parents, even your friends, even all the people who think they care about you, they care about you. Yeah, sure, there may be 2 or 3 people on the planet genuinely care about you. But nobody is going to come to your bed, drag you out of bed, drag you to a job, force you to work hard, go and get you a hot bitch, and go and buy you a Ferrari. Nobody is going to do that for you. You are never going to have any of the things you want if you do not get them yourself. Nobody cares about you enough to do it for you.
I think that the men who do think that way, who think I need to become the king and I need to give the kingdom to my son, I don't think they're happy men. I don't think Genghis Khan was happy. I don't think happiness, you talked about the man, Vivaldi, who did the amazing work, and he was poor. He had a lot of suffering in his soul, and you can hear it in the music, which is why it's so beautiful. And I don't think that happiness is contingent to achieving great things as a man. In fact, I would argue that pain and suffering makes you a better man. I think men are made of pain. I think the more pain you go through, the better you are as a man. Every single lesson you've ever learned as a man, you've learned the hard way. Every single scar you carry makes you stronger. And I think that as a man, pain and suffering is the best thing that can ever possibly happen to you. So if you find the most capable men who can do the most amazing things, they've had the most pain because that turned them into the man they are, and they gave up on happiness a long time ago. Yeah, I don't think happiness crosses my mind. I'm not happy or sad ever. I've been a millionaire. I've been a fighter. You know, I've done so many different things, and I really think that, like we said, it's the juxtaposition, it's the contrast that makes life interesting. I'm happy with every single element of my life, and even if I wasn't, I would refuse to admit that I'm not, right? This is the life I've lived. I accept all of it. If I've made a mistake in the past, it was the best thing, I believe. At the time, I thought it was the best thing to do. I get a lot of people messaging me and they're very like, look, I'm very depressed. I made this big mistake 2 years ago and I lost my wife, whatever. And I try and explain to them that if you did what you believed was best at the time, hindsight's a bitch, right? If you did what you believed was best at the time, then what are you mad for? Every mistake I made in my life, at the time, I thought I was doing the right thing. So I'm not gonna be mad at past me. And every single bad thing that's happened to me, every single piece of trauma that's happened in my life has led me here. So if you're happy with where you are currently, then you have to be happy for every bad thing that's ever happened to you. Genuinely, right? If you look at your life now and go, I'm quite happy with where I am, then you have to be happy with every single shit day you've had, because you wouldn't end up here any other way. You know, I wouldn't have grown as a man if my father didn't die. You learn a lot about yourself as a man when your father dies. So, of course, I wish my father was alive, right? But if I'm happy with my life now and where it is, you have to accept every shitty day and every single lesson. So yeah, I'm happy for all of it, the good and the bad, my friend. I'm smiling, I'm breathing, I'm alive. And there's a whole bunch of people out here in the world today who are not going to be breathing by the end of it. And there's a whole bunch of people out here in the world today who are going to have those distraught days we were talking about earlier. Something shit's going to happen to them. Their family's going to be in a car crash. As long as that shit ain't happening to me, I am smiling. You cannot depress me. So when I see people who don't have what they want, I consider them losers. And this may be elitist, I understand that. But if I put myself through endless pain to end up where I am, it's very hard for me to have sympathy on the man who's afraid of pain. You're avoiding pain. I've been through endless. I now have everything I've ever desired. You have none of the things you desire. Am I supposed to feel sorry for you? Because you took the easy way out? Am I supposed to look at you and go, oh, poor dude? No, you were a coward. You didn't go through the shit I went through. You didn't put it on the line. So you deserve your substandard reality. That's what you deserve. You're a loser. Because if you actually wanted it and you actually tried, you'd have it. You could have anything you want. The universe is super giving. You want a Ferrari, you can have it. You want that bitch, you can have her. You can have anything you want on the planet. There's not a girl I look at that I want that I can't have. Not one. That's my reality. There's not a car I can't have. There's not a house I can't buy. If I want to go to a yacht, if I want to go to Antarctica, there's nothing I can't have. Bam. Because I've decided to become this man. It's the same for absolutely every single one of you at home. If you want it, you can have it. If you're sitting there saying, oh, but I tried my best and I still didn't get it, you're lying. You didn't try your best. That is a lie. The universe gives it to everybody who genuinely tries.
They're trying to find some kind of shortcut. There's no shortcut. There's only work. There's no other way out. All there is hard work. God decides who gets what, and it's very simple. I have never seen somebody in my entire life want something and not get it. I've seen people say they want something and not get it, but I've never seen somebody actually wanting something not get it. I've seen people say, yeah, I want to get bigger and not get bigger. But I've never seen somebody go to the gym every day, train hard every day, eat right every day, not get bigger. So the guy who actually wanted it gets exactly what he wanted. And the guy who said he wanted it doesn't, because it's easy to fly. But if you genuinely actually want something, the universe is super giving. The universe will make you big, strong, famous, and rich. You can have everything you've ever desired, all of it, if you actually want it. But if you don't actually want it, it's not going to give it to you, because you cannot fool the universe and you cannot fool God. You cannot lie to the universe by pretending you're a dedicated person then sleeping in. That ain't going to work. It's never going to work. So people sit and they try and conflate the issue to avoid the hard work because they're scared of the hard work, because they're cowards or they're lazy, and they sit there and go, oh, there must be some other way. There isn't. And even if there was, the hard workers would have found it, and they'd be doing it with hard work applied on top anyway, so it still wouldn't work for a fucking loser. There's no other way. Going to the gym is a search for truth.
Because you can either lift that bar or you can't. That is true or false. Your strength that you hold in your own human hand is true. When you train yourself to become more capable, that is a search for truth. Power that you feel inside of yourself is real. Money that you make, they can take it off you, yes, but when you dedicate yourself to money, sure, you can call that real, you can spend it, you can take care of people you love. Those are real things. And it's very difficult to get to any kind of baseline of truth. So if I woke up and I tried to have my most honest day in the world, where I'm absolutely honest, because even me, I am self-critical enough to understand that we're all hypocritical. So if I had to wake up and be as honest as possible, what would I be talking about? What would I be saying? But more importantly, what would I be doing in my quest for eternal truth? If I wanted to live as honestly as possible, what would I be doing? Well, I would be training, attempting to be as strong as possible. I'd be telling the people I love that I love them, because that's true. I'd be telling the people I care about that I care about them. But if you want to be an honest person or a good person, perhaps these are the most important things you can actually do with your day. It's train, it's dedicate yourself, work hard, make money, achieve things, love those you love, because so much of the world is garbage. If you scroll Twitter, every single person is full of shit. Every single person contradicts. Every single person picks and chooses. But if you go to the gym and you lift that weight, you get stronger. Isn't that beautiful? The simplicity of it. Isn't simplicity beautiful to say, the world is so complicated, but if I go to the gym and I lift this weight, I get stronger. Isn't that enough to give you some peace, some grounding in the chaos, for you to finally find an anchor in rough seas, for you to wake up and think, I'm going to dedicate myself and I'm going to train and I'm going to get stronger tomorrow because I trained today and I didn't want to train and I was tired, but I did it anyway, and now I'm stronger than I was, and that is 100% definitively true. No subjectivity, no maybes, no ifs, no buts. It is a fact, and it is a fact that I have constructed, that I have made a reality myself. Like I am the constructor of the universe. I can force this outcome. And forced outcomes are what you're always looking for in life. If you play chess, and I'm not so good, but if you do play, you understand that your calculative ability is massively increased with forced outcomes. If I make a move, and he can make 3 possible reply moves, it's very difficult for me to calculate into the future. But if I make a move and it's check, and he only has 1 move, and then I make another move and it's check, and he only has 1 move, I can now calculate far deeper into the future because I have forced a move from my opponent. Forced moves allow you to plan for the future more effectively. So you should always be looking for forced moves in your life. You should be sitting here saying, okay, if I do this, if I go out and party tonight, 10 things can happen. I can get in a fight and die. I can get in a fight and win and get a good KO video that makes me famous on the internet, but I catch a criminal case and I go to jail for 6 years. I can meet a beautiful woman and we can fall in love and have a baby. I can meet a beautiful woman and she can break my heart and waste my time. I can get drunk for no reason. I can have a great time. I can have a bad time, etc. There's a whole bunch of outcomes. But if you say I go to the gym and I lift those weights, what happens? I get stronger. Most likely that's what's going to happen. I doubt you're going to go to the gym and lift those weights, and all of a sudden, because you lifted those weights, you're going to impress somebody who stares in the window from the outside and they decides to buy you a car and you get a brand new car for going to the gym. That's probably not going to happen. What is going to happen is that you're going to get stronger. It's a forced move. It's a forced move, and it's a universal truth. And I am going to try, as I optimize my life, which is a permanent and never-ending task, to not only always look for forced moves, but also to be looking for the truth of all things. And I think that's what I love so much about competition. Because competition is a search for truth. Who's better? Well, there's one person here and there's a person there. Well, who's actually better? Well, I believe I'm better because of this. You believe because you're better because of this. Okay, let's set the rules. Let's set the parameters of the competition. Let's have a competition and let's see who's true. Let's see the truth. Let's see who's better. Search for truth is a very beautiful thing.
If you are optimizing your friendship group for competency, which is what you should be doing as a man if you're optimizing your life for efficiency and capability. If you're a man who's saying, I want to win the game of life, it is an endless, never-ending competition. Every single thing I want, someone else wants. All the views we want on this podcast, someone else wants. The Ferrari you want, someone else wants. The house you want, someone else wants. Every dollar you earn, someone else wants. So we're in endless competition. This is a war. So I need to choose who's on my team. And I'm going to optimize my team for capability so I can win. I ain't happy. So why do I give a shit if he's happy? I'm not unhappy. I'm not happy. I'm busy. I'm busy. I don't know what to say. How do you feel? I feel busy. Yeah, but are you happy? I'm busy. I'm doing this. 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 I got shit to do. I'm busy. And that's the purpose of man. Why is any of the other men watching this waking up each day if they're not trying to get strong, get rich, and fight their enemies? What the fuck you waking up for? What are you waking up for if you're not thinking, I need to be stronger, I need to be richer, and I need to engage the enemy? What do you want to do? You want to go on a boat in Miami and then take Instagram pictures and talk about how you're a boss? You should be waking up, you should hit the gym, you should get as strong as possible, you should then decide you need to make some money. Once you've got money in the bank, once you're physically intimidating like you're supposed to be as a man, you need to find an enemy worth engaging. But I don't know why any man is waking up without the inclination to be as rich as possible, be as strong as possible, and fight their enemies. Let's expand on this. When I said earlier, you can't love something unless you hate, you can also inverse that. You can also apply that to, as a man, you can't love anything unless you're capable, which means you need to hate the fact that you're incapable of certain things. You can't be rich unless you hate being broke. So there's a lot of people who go, I want to be rich. Well, guess what? Everyone wants things. Wanting things is not the same as being dedicated towards something. Everyone wants things. African tribesmen who have never seen a paved road in their lives still want a Lamborghini if it's free. Do you want a Lambo? Sure. Boom. Wanting is not dedication. Dedication is action. It doesn't matter. Everyone wants shit. I'm tired of hearing what people want. When you dedicate yourself to something, only then will God give it to you. So unless you hate being broke, you'll never be rich. And I'll tell you why. Because poor people will say, man, I really want to be rich. Are you dedicated? Yeah, I'm dedicated. And then for 3 days, they'll try. But the majority of the time, they're actually happy being broke. They're happy playing a video game, eating some ramen, and sitting around with their friends. So they only feel temporarily motivated to escape the trap. But most of the time, they're happy to be exactly where they are, which is why they'll stay exactly where they are. They don't hate being broke. When I was broke, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I had permanent insomnia when I was poor. I was like, there must be a way. I'm missing something. So unless you hate being poor, you're not going to love being rich enough to ever get there. And this is extremely important. As a man, if you want to love anything, if you want to even be able to show love to the world, you need to be extremely capable of so many things. If you're an incapable man, your love has no value. Why, when a little loser with no money tells a girl, I love you, why doesn't she care? Because it doesn't mean anything. Because even if you love her, if she needs a hospital bill paid, you can't pay it. Even if you love her, if she needs defending on the street, you can't defend her. Even if you love her, if she needs her problems fixed, you can't fix them. So your love means nothing. When the big, strong, rich, important billionaire says he loves her, it matters, because his love can be exchanged for goods and services and provision and protection. So if you're a man and you say, oh yeah, I love my family, but you're not rich, not really. Because if you really loved them, you'd be trying your very best to be as capable as possible of taking care of them. Saying you love your family, but you can't afford the big hospital bill that inevitably is going to come, doesn't mean you love them very much to me. If you love them, you'd be working your ass off. You love your family, but you're broke playing video games. You don't love them. You're not allowed to love things as a man unless you have things. Your love means nothing unless you're rich. So if you want to tell a woman you love her and see her eyes light up, if you want to tell your parents you love them and then be able to relax in old age, if you want to tell your friends you love them and know that they're prepared to die beside you, all of that's going to happen when you get big, strong, and rich. Because your friends are going to say he'll fight beside me, your woman's going to say he can take care of me, and your parents are going to know that they have hospital treatments until their dying days. But when you're a brokey, your love means nothing. Your loyalty means nothing. Why do I need the loyalty of a man who's so weak that if I'm attacked on the street, he can't help me. Andrew, I'm loyal to you. Okay, we're under attack. It's a street fight. I'm getting stabbed, and you're standing there pissing your pants. What does your loyalty mean? If your loyalty means nothing, then you haven't really given it to me, have you? If your love means nothing, you haven't really given it to me, have you? This is how the world works as a man. So if you're the kind of man who is not dedicated and not motivated to permanently become as strong and rich as possible, you're not even capable of being loyal to or loving anything. And everyone with a brain is going to understand that your love and your loyalty is valueless. And women, the perfect mirror of life, they're going to show that to you quickest. When you tell them you love them and you're loyal to them and they don't give a fuck, it's because it's empty. It's empty words. That is the best possible life a man can live, and it is based on brutal competence and never-ending work. I want to make something very clear to everybody at home. Anybody who thinks that a lifestyle comes like this without dedicating yourself for at least a decade to the endless work which must be required to prove to God that you deserve to be a main character on earth is a fool. God is sitting there waiting for somebody to put their hand up and say, look, I work harder than the others. Look, I've tried harder than everyone else. I worked on the days I was sick. I worked on the days I was tired. I dedicated myself and did exactly what you wanted me to do. Please bless me with the best possible existence any man on earth could have. How do I reach that echelon of masculine capability? Look around yourself. Look at the room you're in now. Look at the woman you're next to. Look at the car you drive. Look at all of it. Say, am I happy with this? Do I want something else? Do I want more? How do I get what they have? They are two brothers from the bottom who were broke with nothing, who have everything now. How did they do it? How do I do it? I'm showing you these videos to motivate you and explain to you there is an entire version of reality that you have yet to crack. It is time for you to improve your character as a person. It's time for you to move from a soldier into special forces. That's the point of these videos. That's what we're trying to do.